guys, this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 7th episode of The Muppet Show, which features the one and only Edgar Bergen. Now, if you have ever looked upon either puppetry or ventriloquism, then chances are you have absolutely heard of the name of Edgar Bergen. Now, among anybody who has ever worked in ventriloquism, the most popular and synonymous name that goes with it is Edgar Bergen, along with his characters Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snurd. Throughout the 40s and 60s, they have been known to be the ultimate dynamic duo. In fact, the character of Charlie McCarthy has kind of revolutionized the way we looked upon wisecracking characters. And although, this is the kind of character that would be rude, but would always have something, witty or funny to say in response to the situation that he would be currently in. In fact, Disney fans would actually recognize Edgar Bergen along with characters like Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snurd during the live-action segments in Fun and Fancy Free. Now, on top of that, Edgar Bergen has been known to also be a massive influence to many of the well-known puppetry acts that we would know today, or even the well-known ventriloquist acts. Now, some of the influences that he causes would include Terry Fader, who is now currently one of the biggest acts that is currently running in Las Vegas. He is also a big influence to Jeff Dunham, and of course he is a big influence to Jim Henson. So it kind of really brings in full circle that Jim Henson actually brought in one of his idols and one of his heroes that he looked upon and finally get a chance to be a special guest on The Muppet Show. But interestingly enough, there is one more thing I would like to point out that is actually very fascinating, is that before Edgar Bergen came in, his daughter, Candice Bergen, actually made an appearance as a guest star on The Muppet Show. Now, this was actually previously, I double-checked, it was on episode 15 that she actually made her appearance there. And this would actually make Edgar and Candice Bergen the only, parent and, parent and offspring that would actually make a guest appearance in The Muppet Show overall. So that's actually very interesting. And now going into the episode that actually spawned with Edgar Bergen, my god, I completely forgot how fantastic the episode is. And interestingly enough, this is not the kind that really has a story. This is just really focused on the variety and also the fact that we have a guest star. Now, technically, looking into the Wikipedia page about the episodes of The Muppet Show, it says that technically that there is a bit of a backstory, but they didn't really look into it, is that Fozzie Bear has an act that he wants to do, and he was really inspired by Edgar Bergen along with Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snurd, that he wants to do his own ventriloquist act, but it only happens only a few times. But overall, it definitely is one of the best variety episodes in terms of The Muppet Show, not just because of Edgar Bergen, but also because of what the Muppets do in general. Now, if I may focus on Edgar Bergen, he is actually a full-on center point in the entire episode. This episode really wants to make sure that it prominently features someone like Edgar Bergen, and you could really tell that these people who worked on The Muppet Show definitely look up to someone like Edgar Bergen, and they gave him a lot of time. There are moments that they would give a lot of time for, Charlie McCarthy, and there was even, at one point, that we actually look backstage, and Fozzie Bear would interact with Edgar Bergen while he's with Mortimer Snurd. And on top of that, they would even have some they would have some musical moments as well, with Kermit and Fozzie, Gonzo, and the whole gang. They would all be singing, just want to double check the song, I believe, yeah, Consider Yourself from Oliver. So pretty much, bringing in Charlie McCarthy into the Muppet family. And on top of that, this is on top of, other moments, including, a final guest act where Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy would talk about some of the people they would meet in The Muppet Show and how things are going, during their time there. And it really is a lot of fun. The episode really does give a lot of time for Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy to really show their act, to really present what they do. And it really is a lot of fun. And you could definitely tell that it has such respect for it. Like, it really wants to make sure that this is about them more so than any other Muppet that's featured in there. But funny enough, though, I will say that it does spend a lot of time to really do a lot of Muppet acts at the same time. This is probably one of the episodes that has the best use of chickens, funny enough, because it actually starts off with a bunch of chickens actually singing Babyface. And honestly, this is one of those opening acts, it's almost in the same veins of like Mana Mana, where you actually know the tone and like pretty much embrace the entire spirit of the Muppet Show. Like, this is what they do. Like, they would go and sing popular songs, but in a way that just seems quirky, silly, but just a lot of fun at the same time, especially with the chickens. It's like the chickens are kind of like this, like a very signature thing for the Muppets, especially. Like, even nowadays, like, when you see one of the Muppets is dating a chicken, literally. On top of that, there is another one that the chickens actually did. I don't remember, like, I don't know where it is, but, oh, okay, yeah, they didn't specify what the chickens had done. I forgot the name of the song, but, like, you get 4 chickens suddenly coming in front of the piano, and they just, like, they just peck their heads. It's just like, deep, deep, and then suddenly, like, it's just 4 chickens just coming in. It's really a lot of fun, and like, that one is equally as amusing to watch as much as the opening act where the chickens would sing Babyface. But along with that, there are many other great ones. Also, like, you got like one where Gonzo is doing another one of his quirky acts where he would wrestle a brick blindfolded. Like that one, like, you can accept that's just Gonzo being Gonzo. And also, you got another one of Pigs in Space. Now, funny enough, the last time that we saw Pigs in Space, there was this, like, it ended off on this weird cliffhanger, and it didn't really have a joke of some sort. But unfortunately, they did not go back into another one, but instead, we got this unique, standalone sketch where pretty much Miss Piggy has to do the laundry, and it's kind of a massive emergency. This one feels a lot better as a Pigs in Space sketch, because at least with this one, unlike last time, now we have a joke. Now we know what the punchline is. It has something that works, so at least this is a Pigs in Space that feels like a prominent Pigs in Space sketch. And also, going back once again into what Fozzie Bear wanted to do with his sketch. Now, like, this is what they say is the story a bit, but actually, they just looked at it twice, and it's pretty much Fozzie Bear wanted to do his own ventriloquist act, and not really understanding, like, the whole point of ventriloquism, and it's actually a lot of fun. And honestly, I do have a bit of a personal attachment to that sketch, because, like, this is one of those sketches that they would put on a VHS that as a kid I would just watch it over and over and over and over again, and, you know, it always brings me a smile. It wasn't, like, I didn't really understand it as a kid, but, like, now, watching it now, I do understand the jokes, I do understand what's going on, and it's actually a legitimate funny sketch. And for that, like, I do have my personal reasons for it, but I always like that little Fozzie Bear bit. It's probably one of my personal favorites. And, but on top of that, I will say, however, that, like, it's not just wackiness and also Edgar Bergen. On top of that, there are some other noteworthy sketches. There is one point when Rolf would sing "Show Me a Rose," which is another of your typical sketch where pretty much it's Rolf on the piano singing a more sentimental song with a bit of a humorous spin to it. That's mostly the whole thing with Rolf, is that, like, he brings in a bit of a more serious tone into it, but, like, he manages to put in a little bit of a spin that it's not too serious, that it does have a bit of its funny moments. And then there is another sketch, actually, that it is a bit more serious, but it does have a really good Muppet spin to it, and that is Time in a Bottle, where you see this really old scientist trying to find ways to make him younger and younger and younger. And, that's pretty much the best way to put it. It's the best way that you can execute a song like Time in a Bottle in a Muppet way, where we just see the transition of this old man getting younger and younger and younger. But it's actually very interesting to note that it's also noticeable how you can hear the different puppeteers. As someone like myself who has seen so many Muppet Show episodes, you can definitely hear when there's actually a different voice coming in. It's not like they just picked one person and you can hear his voice going from really old to absolutely really young. No, it's not like that. It's often they would switch performers, it would suddenly go to, it would start off maybe with Richard Hunt, and then suddenly Jim Henson comes in, and then it would bring in Jerry Nelson, or it could be the other way around, but it's something, that's kind of the example. But overall, I would say this is definitely a fantastic episode, and honestly, this could be one of the real highlights of the entire season. You could definitely tell that Jim Henson and the crew have such high respect for Edgar Bergen and really try to give the light to him and really make the episode very prominent to someone like Edgar Bergen, kind of a way of saying thank you for the inspiration and stuff like that. You can definitely tell how they show so much respect, give him the time to prominently show his talents onto the Muppet Show, on top of many other great sketches that really do prominently show the crazy Muppet antics, what makes the Muppet Show, in a highly enjoyable and really fun way. And honestly, yeah, overall, this is definitely one of the true highlight episodes that I would put it up there among some of the best episodes of the entire season. So this is definitely one worth checking out. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this episode, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I absolutely had fun with watching this episode, and hopefully I will continue this with the next episode. So until next time, see you later, dudes!